Am I starting?
I'm starting.
No,
You want to start?
No, I'm starting.
You start.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody, as you can see from behind us, this is the gorgeous San Diego Bay. I am actually down in San Diego with my friend Bill McKenna here, and we're doing something really fun. We're creating some brand new things for you guys. But today we still had to work while we're creating. We had this amazing conversation with somebody that we were interviewing, and it has everything to do with Cognomovement and how we affect everything around us, including the people that we're in relationships with. You know, I mean, that could be your kids, it could be people at work, it could be your primary spouse or children, it could be your business partner, it even could be your pets. But this conversation was about how we affect everything, but it had to do with plants. Tell everybody what we were talking about. This is so interesting.
Yeah, so this is a really an interesting thing. So as it turns out, the conversation was around consciousness and that everything is conscious. Well, as it turns out, there was a guy, his name is Dr. Cleve Baxter. Now, Dr. Cleve Baxter was, I think, either in the CIA or FBI, but he was one of the very first people that worked with the polygraph. Now, what ended up happening is that one day he took the polygraph and he hooked it up to a house plant. He had a house plant right in his
Sounds like
office.
something I would do.
Yeah, right. You know, right? You know, like, what's going on with the house plant? Let's hook the polygraph up to the house plant. Pretty bizarre. But you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. Plant did nothing. There was no reading. But then he got the bright idea, I wonder if I burn the plant, if it would react.
Didn't he start out by just thinking about it?
Well, that's what he did. He was like, I wonder if. And then it went from wondering to a full-on intention. He got his lighter out. He's like, I'm going to go burn that plant. The plant, he didn't burn it. The plant went nuts.
You could see it on the machine. It started to move.
The whole thing registered. And it registered because it knew his intention. He was actually going to do it.
He didn't do it, though. He just was considering doing it.
Well, more than considering, he had the intention of doing it.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, the amazing thing here is that he began doing all kinds of experiments. Interestingly enough, he was right here in San Diego, and his research that he did, very scientific. He would take live shrimp, he'd put them into, you know, a container, and then he had this like random number generator, which would at random dump these shrimp into a boiling pot of water. Well, while the house plant was hooked up to the actual system. So the house plant was hooked up to the lie detector, you know, the polygraph. And at random, when that happened, when those shrimp went into the boiling water, the plant went nuts. It knew that it was witnessing the death of all of these shrimp, and it was affected. Well, this goes on and on. He did so many experiments. You can see his stuff online. And it was actually, interestingly enough, Mythbusters did the experiment, and they proved, actually, Cleve was right. It is true. Now, if you don't have the real intention, like, yeah, I'm going to burn the plant, and you have no intention of burning the plant, it won't do anything because it knows your true intention. Well, it turns out that all of us are the same. All of us have been out there and we felt the bad guy, right? You know, everybody has been around the bad guy, right? And you're like, uh-oh, not good, get out of here, right? Or anything else, all the positive things, right? And guess what? It's a lot closer than the bad guy. It's right in our own houses and our own relationships with our family. We lock in, as a quantum field, we lock in a reality.
Yeah, so let's back up just a little bit. Like, you know, what are we really talking about here? When Cleve did the work, the plants knew what he was thinking, not because they have ESP, but they actually could feel the resonance of his body. A thought and a feeling and a thought create a field. I mean, this is what we're teaching in Cognomovement all the time. And that field is felt by literally everything around us. In this case, it's the plants. But to Bill's point, if you think that the plants can feel it, but your spouse can't, you walk in the room hot, cranky, you know, they're going to feel it the minute you move in. It changes the atmosphere. So this is just more proof of the Cognomovement quantum relationship effect. That when you change yourself, when you change the pattern that's emanating from your body, creating this field, you change what's happening in the atmosphere of the room. You change what actually the wave that hits the other person in your life. And what's the most interesting is it can happen thousands of miles apart. We have stories and stories and stories about it. Upcoming on the 12th, we're doing the quantum relationship effect class. It's a full day where you'll be shown how to actually change this field and literally change what happens between you and everything around you. So your relationship to money can change, your relationship to your spouse can change, your relationship to your dog. And as we started out this, your relationship to your plants could change, but it all happens by changing the field that you're generating, and that field changes and then interacts differently with everyone else's field. It's incredible. We've seen people change lifelong issues with their family members, like their mother, again and again and again and again. So we want you guys to have this experience. Go to cognomovement.com to go to the events and register today for the Cognomovement quantum relationship effect and literally change everything around you. We can't wait to see you there. We're so excited about it.
Yeah.